So I'm Sean Maxon. I am a PhD student in the Electrical and Computer Engineering department. And this is Carol. She is a PhD student in the Robotics engineering program. This is our ASV, Autonomous Surface Vehicle. Her name is Victoria. She is a self-driving boat that we use for research in controls, and she has several modes of operation that we have used. We take her to competitions where we do tasks involving buoy navigation. So we have a set of sensors on board that we use to gather information about the environment. We have a LiDAR sensor that has a 180-degree field of view out to 30 meters that allows us to see anything out in front of the boat. And attached on top of that, we have an HD webcam. So we use the two in combination to use color tracking and obstacle detection so that we can identify things like a channel buoy. So a channel on water, you typically have red and green buoys that mark a channel. So we detect the location of a buoy with the LiDAR, and then we match that to color information, and then we can actually enter that into our navigation algorithms, which allows us to do channel following completely autonomously. Other sensors that we have on board include, we've got multiple redundant GPS units. We have an inertial measurement unit, which is a combination of accelerometers and gyroscopes that allow us to detect how the boat is moving in the water, so that we can use that in combination with the other control systems to directly control the sensors input, which drives the motors. So on the back of the boat we have two thrusters. These are controlled from the electronics inside. We have two computer control systems. One is a compact Rio from National Instruments running LabVIEW, and that controls most of the sensor input as well as the outputs that get sent to the electronics which power the thrusters. Also, we have a vision control system that only does vision processing, so we can do real-time processing of the camera data and then stream that back to a user monitoring on shore using our Wi-Fi network. If we're operating somewhere like out in the field where we're not right next to the shore and we can't stream Wi-Fi, we have a long-range wireless network link that can go out to 30 kilometers where we can send basic communication commands. So a task that we've used this for is we've taken this vehicle down to Louisiana after the oil spill, and we've deployed this into a lagoon after it had been cleaned to see if we could detect any residual oil. So we programmed in a set of waypoints of GPS coordinates and just sent the vehicle out autonomously and gathered a map of sensor data about oil concentrations so that we could use a completely autonomous system so that a human doesn't have to go out and perform these mapping actions. We also have a redundant control system for if something fails with since this is an experimental platform, things do go wrong. So when that happens, we have a redundant control system that allows us to just take control with a remote and drive the vehicle back to shore. Almost everything on this vehicle has been developed by undergraduate teams over about 3 years. This is really the version 3.0 of Victoria. Mechanical senior design teams have contributed the hull designs that have evolved over the years, and all of the electronics and the programming pretty much have been done by teams of undergraduate electrical and computer engineering students. I think we've also had some industrial design students involved. So this is, I guess, a project that we're running right now through the VIP program. So we have a team, undergraduate students from across multiple disciplines working with graduate students, working with a professor. We also do a couple of other projects in a similar fashion that we've done. We have a remotely operated vehicle, which is an underwater vehicle. So in combination with the surface vehicle, we've also deployed an underwater remotely operated vehicle with oil sensors, cameras, and this we've entered into other competitions for underwater tasks where it's less programming intensive but more hardware and electrical intensive because it has to survive underwater. This vehicle, while it's somewhat protected from the elements, is not waterproof by any means. That makes it sort of a more flexible development platform. Our ROV is on a much slower design cycle. We have to build the hull, the pressure seal, have it ballast for the correct buoyancy and whatever deployment option. So both of these two platforms that we've built ourselves as teams of graduate students and undergraduate students. We also use in our labs research on more sort of economical, smaller vehicles that we can purchase and have in abundance. We have multiple versions of this TurtleBot, which is a commercial platform that uses a Kinect range sensor so that it can get a three-dimensional picture of the environment, and we can do experiments with interacting with people or multiple vehicles interacting together.